Before we get started with this episode, we have a major favor to ask you.
If you could subscribe, like, and comment, especially with somebody that you'd love to see on the show, we would really appreciate that, and it would be amazing.
This helps us more than you know. In fact, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, and that is our goal, we are going to choose 2 of you to come to our very first Shoreline Show meetup with our team and our past guest.
And if you want more of the Shoreline Show, you can get on us on all the major audio podcast platforms.
Now, let's get on to the next episode. This is the first time that it's just the 2 of us. Well, it's actually not the first time. We did that for
at
the
the
first
beginning of our
3
episodes of season 1.
Of season 1, and we are actually last week we wrapped up taping for season 1, and we're super excited because we had so many fun guests over season 1.
The thing I found interesting about season 1 for me is, and I didn't see it coming like this, is the amount of things that I personally learned.
Yeah.
It was really a blessing in my life to be able to sit and hear from some of the, really high level people in their industries. Right. And be able to, all the way from people that are doing stuff with AI to people that are literally building tanks.
Right.
So if you guys haven't seen those episodes, I highly recommend getting on and taking a look at the episodes and watching them, because some of the people that we're on are doing big things, which is pretty cool. And the amount we learn from it. Really
cool stuff. And I personally want to thank all of our guests that we had on season 1. There were so many great topics that we had covered. And if you're just finding us now for the first time on the Shoreline Show, go back and watch the previous episodes from the beginning, because they are really, really good. And I think you'll find a lot of great information in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then with that, what are some of your biggest takeaways, Rennie, that you have from season 1?
I think mine were a lot about the personal brand with Jeff Drake. I thought that was pretty good. And talking to, Mind Blank, the one that we do our software through, what's his name? I'm mind blanking on that. What was his name?
Yeah. Derek, help us out.
Yeah. Nathan Jean. His was wild. Some of his, just kind of going down the AI path and what that looked like, because hearing him say, that AI is coming and what software companies are going to today, and that's going to be a lot of AI engineers. And I don't think we can wrap our head around that yet, but I'm kind of big into that, kind of seeing what AI is doing. I kind of spend a lot of...
I was fascinated when he was talking about how he's actually using AI to write code.
I know. I've actually done that myself.
I just am fascinated by all of the AI stuff and how it does all that stuff. It's exciting, but it's scary as well.
Yeah. If you guys are out there and you guys are, and this is the thing, the goal for the Shoreline Show has always been to bring value to people, to be able to have entrepreneurs get to that next level, see where the world is going. So if you guys ever are out there and you want more information on some of the stuff that we've talked about, for example, if it's Brandon with Transform Fitness, or if it's something with Nathan Jean with AI stuff, we can get you in touch with that, or we can even help you answer that. So definitely reach out to us or shoot us a comment, because we're definitely blazing trails with a lot of that stuff, and we're at the forefront of it and using a lot of it already.
Absolutely. So with all that, we are in the middle of starting to currently tape our season 2.
Yeah.
And we're still doing this behind the scenes, you guys, because we tape everything and it gets edited, and it's a long process from when we tape something to edit it to actually putting it out there on YouTube.
It's a lot more work than we thought too. It's been amazing.
I'm learning a lot doing this whole thing. You don't realize how much work goes into these things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so It was a great learning experience doing season 1. We're super excited for season 2, but that is going to be starting on Monday. January 1st is when we're going to be starting
Season 2.
2. Yes.
January 1st. It's odd that it happens to hit on January 1st. I think that's kind of a neat thing. And we're excited. We're excited to bring the next season. We're going to change some things up to make it much more, interactive. And I think and just get people more engaged. And that's the goal. Our goal is to still do a meetup when we hit 1,000 followers on YouTube too. So we want to do like where we bring all our guests that we've had in the past, and we want to bring them out for dinner, and we'll probably go. I would assume we'd go live. I haven't talked about that.
We'll probably go live and do something fun when we do that. But at the same time, once we hit 1,000 followers, weren't we going to invite one of our followers to it?
I think at least one. I would assume,
maybe
if not a few of you.
So sign up and be a follower of the Shoreline Show.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube. Help us get there.
Subscribe on YouTube, because that's where we'll be picking the person that comes to that big event that we do. So we're super excited about that too. So awesome. Well, what are we going to be doing currently as we've just finished out season 1? What are we going to be doing currently?
So the goal is every Monday we are going to jump on and we are going to do recaps of every single episode that we've watched, but keep them more short and tight and kind of expand on Shelly and I's vision on some of the things that we've talked about. So for example would be AI or balancing life and family, kind of like Courtney was talking about, Desert Fox, and then kind of talk about some of those things on a deeper dive and how that affects us in our lives. And I think that's kind of the goal, and kind of getting into who we are a little bit with some of that stuff.
Exactly. And I think some of the things that we want to talk about over the next few weeks between now and January 1st is talking about some of the other things that you and I are involved in personally. Other businesses. Now, you might just know us from the Shoreline Show and just getting to know who we are that way, but we have other things that we're involved with.
Oh, absolutely. We got Shelly and I have a tendency, I mean, even in our own by ourselves, but we have a ton of stuff that we get our hands into, and we do at a very high level. So to be able to kind of teach you guys what we do and how it works, I think it'll benefit you guys to sit there and say, okay, what are you guys doing? Shelly's big on Airbnbs and things like that. She has a lot going on, and then I'm involved in flip houses and running real estate offices and all sorts of stuff. So it'd be fun to dive into that.
And then our other businesses, because you own a city to shore brokerage. My husband and I own city to shore brokerages, and then you and I together with my husband Steve are co-owners of the franchise,
City to Shore National Franchises.
And we would like to talk more about that and what that entails, and what is City to Shore National all about. So we would like to get into that and
get into the weeds on that.
Explain that a little bit more too. So that'll be fun.
So you'll get to know us a lot on a deeper level, and I think that's my beliefs and Shelly's is. We believe and you'll hear more about this, is designing and developing communities of people. And we believe that social media is a good way to do that. So one of the things we're going to do is just get to know each other. We want to get to know you guys a little bit on a deeper basis. We want you to get to know us on a deeper basis and develop strong communities that help each other. And we see the Shoreline Show being part of that and growing in that relationship, right?
Absolutely.
The people on your Facebook page, I mean, you guys are seeing things that how they really are, which is kind of neat. We'd like to do a lot more of that, and that might be something we're talking about right now, is switching. That could be a real possibility that season 2 we might go live a lot more.
I think we will go live a lot more. We did it last week when we were filming one of our actually he's one of our first guests for season 2. And so we went live on my feed last week doing that, and that was really fun. So I'm picturing us going live as we're taping these, and so you get to see the unedited version, which is really fun.
And we never really care about being I think going across the world you want to have a polished version, but I've never been opposed to people seeing the real side of me where it's the unpolished side, and I think because I am who I am.
Right.
I don't hide who I am. I don't do all these crazy things. It's just loving people and caring about people, and yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that we've been really excited to bring all this to you guys, and we just wanted to come to you today and explain what's happening and what to look for in our next episodes. We invite you to join us on this little journey between now and season 2.
Yep, absolutely.
And
we got big things coming.
I know.
I mean, just the lineup. I couldn't be more excited about the lineup that we have starting January and what's going on there with the Shoreline Show. We don't see this ending anytime soon. We're gonna go bigger and better every single time, because that's what we do, and get more real and develop community even more with you guys.
And before we sign off, because I think we're pretty much done, but what I wanted to say to our audience is that for me, and what I've learned during this season 1 is I've learned more about myself in all of this, and how much I enjoy talking to the guests, but how that has filled me up personally.
I would agree with that for myself as well.
And that I don't see the Shoreline Show ending anytime soon. We'll probably do seasons like this and then little breaks in between. But what I really enjoyed most about it is that how it was fulfilling for me to do it.
I would second that for sure. And to me, it's all about the community. Everything always has been. And when you have a strong community of people, it's amazing how many people are out there in your community that are just so smart and loving and caring, and then we're all trying to do the same thing, but life has a tendency to tell us that we're on an island by ourselves, but we're really not. So that's kind of was the goal from the beginning of the Shoreline Show, was as entrepreneurs especially, you start to feel like alone and on an island sometimes because you're blazing your own trail, and some people don't understand, kind of like an artist when you're watching them draw a picture. I mentioned that before. You don't understand what people are doing or why they're doing it, but they know exactly how they see what they're going. So sometimes that feels a little on the lonely side. So when you hear other people say, no, in my own way, I've done the same thing.
Right.
And that kind of feels good to hear that, what they go through, and to sit there and say, no, I'm with you, which has been pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Shoreline Show every week, and please continue to tune in to us on Mondays on YouTube, also on all of the other platforms that are Audible versions.
Spotify, all of it. Apple
all
Music.
Those different platforms for podcasting we are on. Please join us there. And the biggest way that you can support us is by liking and subscribing to us, especially on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
See you later.
Before